Yeah, that was a long time ago. And
Yeah.
actually, no, I don't think A is a very good hero. I mean, it can work later in drafts when you kind of see what you're up against. But picking it, I think they picked it in like the 3rd overall pick after getting Puck.
Yeah.
I think the hero kind of opens you up more so than like closes down your opponents. Like it invites them to pick really anything they want when you want your early picks to limit the enemy team's draft. That's why like people really like Witch Doctor or Enchantress because they're so strong in lane, or they like Nyx because it makes them not want to pick these wave clear intelligence heroes. AA doesn't really, oh, don't pick Alchemist, don't pick Huskar. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's kind of the limit. Yeah. And then the problem is like not only that, like in terms of what your opponents have, they don't even necessarily have the best lane combo either. Like those classics, stuns into cold feet like CK or Sven or even Wraith King or something. Yes, yeah, the mid game's good.
Yeah, Puck always needs a lot of like damage on top of his ultimate, but in AA does give that.
Yeah, so, I think they kind of took like some of the building blocks of the LGD draft and just didn't quite slot them in like as well. Like as you said, like Puck AA is very good, but then AA is like kind of hung out a little bit in terms of like the laning stage.
You guys are talking about the Wraith King, but I think Wraith King is probably one of the best heroes against Ancient Apparition, and Undying actually had the pick out of that second banning phase, so they could have taken the Wraith King for themselves. Which is
yeah. In that regard, it makes sense they went for the ban for sure.
True enough. Well, so far in the laning phase, at the very least, it's looking kind of favored, although Earthshaker's been able to pick up some of the slacking CS where you've sort of been struggling on zero. As you mentioned, a bit of a tough lane, potentially against Timado. Down here on the bottom side, there's a little bit of a pushback there along the top side, able to keep Moonmeander away.
Courier.
Another one. Dubu finds it, and this guy's always on the lookout.
Yeah, he's just bullying Flea because Flea can't really contest him, and then Zero's just trying to like pull the wave at the same time. So Dubu is just kind of walking around here with his boots, happy as a clam.
Yeah, really heads up play from Dubu to like identify that like boots first position 5 isn't something you see often, but against like double melee heroes who likely have boots themselves. So with, for example, the Earthshaker, it's definitely the right play.
And the slow is just so weak versus Night Stalker in the daytime. Like with the boots, like there's Fisher slow, and then you can just kind of get away.
Yeah, the silencer slow is nothing.
A nice little job there by Flea, able to interrupt the side pull that they're trying to get going, and that just pushes a whole wave underneath Zero's tower down bottom. So that part's really good. There's definitely a battle going on up top between Moon and Jubei, just trying to keep them back. And YamSun's actually going to spin down the wave there. Maybe a little bit concerned.
To me, this lane seems impossible for Dire, and they saw this lane and picked this lane for themselves, which is what is so surprising. That's why this AA is just such a bad laner early on. And there's not really any synergy with Juggernaut either, so I don't really see any, like, I think Beastmaster is going to take over this lane early and maybe even take the tower with the 5-minute catapult.
Yeah, they're going to need, like, one of those perfect puck rotations at 6 or something to try and salvage this.
It's already a massacre up here, to be honest.
Look at YamSun right now getting hit by these boars. He actually can't even move. He's at 240 move speed.
AA is just so bad against Zoo, and these guys they banned Enchantress with their first phase bans, which is kind of like the best hero against Beastmaster, but then they didn't even take it. They took AA.
You're gonna harp on it. I can feel the like frustration there in your voice.
It just doesn't do well with we call it Zoo, right?
Yeah.
It's just like summons, like AA. What? And if they didn't really ban much Zoo, they banned Oracle, they banned Wraith King, who was like pseudo Zoo, and then I forget their third ban, but Beastmaster, they took it before the bans, so.
Good way to do it. Keeping that pressure on. YamSun's going to try and spin him down here, but does a little bit of split up, only able to get one of them. We'll see if the Jug can catch back up later. I mean, I guess that's the thing, is like maybe just looking forward towards those mid-game fights, and particularly the first nighttime, which is coming up. But right now they're losing all 3 lanes.
On the bright side, anyone could be feeding right now, and no one's feeding. So they got that.
Oh, that's true. They're doing a good job of, I guess, like dealing with the lost lanes. I mean, you have lost top lane, lost bottom lane, but you kind of expect to lose your Night Stalker lane. It is now nighttime though, so he's a different hero. You can essentially feed off the silencer.
Okay. See if they make it happen, as Again, keeping that pressure up top. There hasn't really been a rotation. We do have the catapult that's coming in for the Beastmaster at this point.
And Flea's coming mid right now too with the 6 on Ryoya.
Okay.
They're trying to beat Bryle's timing here, but Bryle looks pretty aware of this. Dubu's even rotating over.
Yeah, they're bringing it in. Courier heads over the top of Flea. Not quite level 6 yet on Bryle, but does have a Fairy Fire as well as a Raindrops. Trying to keep him alive a little bit longer. Gonna throw out that little remnant to pull Ryoya back, and I think that's gonna probably be the end of the aggression here. Oh no, we got fixed. Okay, Ryoya's in trouble. Taking so much damage over time, and first blood drawn by Bryle. That is not the way they wanted that to go. The black and yellow.
Yeah, it was a complete disaster. You know, Shaker does not really do a lot of damage when Puck uses coil. Not really a lot of synergy between those two heroes, so they need to wait for this AA's level 6 at the very least, because I don't see how they're killing anybody on Radiant with that coil at the moment.
That was your classic forced rotation because you feel like you need to do something because your lane was so bad, and in the end you just make things worse in another lane.
Well, it was an interesting idea, but the problem was the Void Spirit got the 6 on these melee creeps. So unless they were going to burst him, which they don't really have a burst lineup. So. Not yet.
You mentioned it though, like that pressure up top, they just ran him down with the Necro Books. Already up on SabeRLight.
They didn't have to use the roar.
Yeah.
And, and nobody can go top now.
6-minute Necros are like the thing this patch. But when you get those in your lane, like no boots, just your Necros, the game feels very strong.
Now, you can see that like just everything is going in towards those team fights that happen later. Like Jubei 2 points up in the vortex. There's like nothing to really help with the laning stage. It's all about amping up that damage elsewhere, if possible. And well, down bottom, they're trying to set up, at least it looks like, onto this tower possibly with another 3 minutes left until daytime starts back up. They feel like they got to get something done here.
YamSun's just trying to hit 6 even. Like, I'm not feeling too hot right now. Jubei's gonna get a little bit of solo XP up here.
Oh, but on Ryoya. Silence is out there. They've got the curse. Chase down could continue, although he doesn't have another Aether Step. That's what's the coil. Okay, went a bit too far, and they just get a freebie. Making the move over is gonna get the roar on the Jubei. That should be enough for the kill. Flea in the meantime tries to back out, but have they gone in a bit too far? Dubu now getting gone on by 0, trying to beat him down to death. They don't have roar anymore, but can still keep eyes on him, and they walk back in now with Ryoya. 0 gets just mauled down by Timado, so they don't end up having enough damage.
This game's so hard right now, man. It's like, there's this Ursa already, like they had already roared, and that should be like freedom for a Night Stalker, and then there's just these boars just ruining you.
Ooh. Peter, what's the plan? How do you pull this back together right now if you're black and yellow? Like,
you just need to wait for the 10-minute mark, get your hopefully some ultimates on your supports. It's kind of where their damage comes from.
It's fair enough. Like the mitigating damage is probably the best route. Is down bottom, a quick little spin away. Bryle won't be able to connect. In 4-1, it's a 2,000 gold lead. That timing is basically what they're going to be hoping to match it out with.
Let's scan. Oh, it didn't turn red. Wow.
Okay.
All right. So they don't know Ryoya's coming through here.
And finding Bryle. Coil used. Chase down. They got spin available.
He's out of mana.
Not enough damage though. Almost enough. And silence. Dead. They get him again.
That was so close.
Okay. Making it work kind of here and there.
Yeah, desperately needed. They're bringing a lot of heroes mid right now though. And no Night Stalker ulti. The wave clear they have is pretty much just the Puck, and they still don't have 6 on AA.
So is this what you meant by the zoo, Peter?
Yeah, it's a really good Beastmaster game, guys. I know they picked it in the first phase.
Dubu just got so dished. He did not get the memo.
Damn. I mean, that is...
There's 5 heroes. You can move back now. No, I'm good.
There's something to be said too. Like, I feel like this was a problem that sometimes came up with Night Stalker as well, where like you would have this great vision that'd be provided, and then like it wouldn't matter because they would just walk at you and you'd die. But they are pulling it back a little bit at least here this last couple of minutes.
Beastmaster's a hero with a ton of wave clear, and you don't necessarily have to see the enemy if all their lanes are pushed into them to figure out where they are.
Yeah. Zero just gonna give up his life there. And another round of push coming through. SabeRLight has already popped the necros and gonna start scouting a bit. Looking for a war target. Well, do they have the tome coming in yet? I think Jubei...
Actually, it's on Flea right now.
Okay.
Right, it was in his stash, so...
They're both really struggling on levels, so not surprised.
Jubei's gonna try and go top to get a 6 and probably die for it.
We didn't even get a 6.
Yeah, it's the 5 life.
A death for level 6 is worth it, I think, in a game this desperate. I mean, they're only 1k down though, so Bucket's farming really well, actually.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of times it's been feeling like Ryoya is kind of that backbone to this team in particular. The one who kind of makes the plays. On the puck this time, it feels like he's the one that's going to need to, I guess, be keeping on making these rotations. 3 kills so far. Did get picked off once.
Oh, for sure. He's going for the Witchblade too, which is kind of that carry puck build, and you can build puck in a way where you can really scale really well on this hero, and he might do that this game.
But it seems to be the most common one now for sure. It's like Witchblade into all like the phase shift attack stuff.
Yeah, it just depends on what kind of follow up you have. Is like is mobility what you need, right? Do you need to catch your opponents, or do you need damage to kill them? And in this game, kind of seems like he needs damage, since I don't know if his draft is most ideal for the opponent, but going on Night Stalker.
Zero is just struggling. I mean, he's just in here farming jungle. Like his.
Well, he's had to up the bottom lane to the Juggernaut, who had such a rough time top, and then it's not like he could go top either, so he kind of just stopped farming after laning phase, and he's more of a glorified support at this point.
Feels pretty rough. I mean, particularly in between these nighttime cycles, you just kind of have to chill, it feels like, and get whatever farm you can, give things up along the way. Dubu.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Doesn't look like one of those where if like they had their thing over the top of it, they might have seen it, but
they also ran into his boars too, so yeah. I think they pinged out the fact that the Jug was going to the Ancients. They kind of saw him retreating back that way. Bryle pointed out, so now I think they're just going to punish that.
Under attack.
Oh,
and they have the Hawk there too, so at least they know he's left.
All right, does he go back? Does he go back for his stack, or does he just finish off here and head to the other jungle? All right, you have some good heads-up play here, recognizing the inherent danger. He dodges away. Both teams able to dodge the smokes. We haven't seen any of these ultis, but Dubu's got his global as well, so if things pop off, I don't know, that feels like it's kind of just a backbreaker for this black and yellow team in a way.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Timado, speaking of which, finishes off that Battle Fury now as they try and find Zero, and he does have ulti. 16 stick charges. I think he's just going to be giving up his life yet again, and he's just sort of the perennial sack that they keep on throwing away.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Silence.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dude, it feels bad. What's he even going for?
I don't really know if did they really just take this Night Stalker because they saw the LGD draft and they had Night Stalker and they were like, oh, this combo works well. Like, I don't even see how it's a particularly great Night Stalker game with a lot of these heroes. I like preying on the silencer, I suppose.
I like that plan.
It's looking less and less likely.
Game number 1, you never know. Oh, wait a minute.
So early.
Wait a minute. Ryoya, global comes out, he explodes. Oh, and now they take down YamSun on the other side of the map as well with just a solo SabeRLight. A little bit of help there from Bryle as well, but if this battle keeps on, oh yeah, they can't really do much here, surely. I mean, they want to stick around.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it puts that pressure on them in between the globals to like rush into engagements too. At least Coil's like a shorter cooldown.
Jesus, there's no way.
Oh, the
Oh God, they're just gonna gobble him up. He's dead. Now Moonmeander shows back up. Echo, but stolen Coil, and now gonna try and get out of there. Ryoya, can he break the TP? Even Dubu is gonna get out.
Dire's
Damn,
top
dude,
tower is
that
under
one
attack.
hurts. You think that's good? Because that's a fair point. All right, fair enough. When it's good enough to just get 2 kills instead. Oh, this one might hurt though. Losing Ryoya, can he get out? Play his way out of here? No, not gonna happen.
Yeah, Moon was kind of stone cold there too. He was holding the whole time on the coil. He didn't like steal orb or anything to escape. He just really wants that next coil.
Yeah, that's fair. It's crazy. It's like every hero on Undying kind of has a great game based upon just the draft alone. Back in Jubei now.
Is under attack.
I mean, usually, like, you know, if you're drafting though, your team ends up with some good stuff too, right? Like, what happened with black and yellow?
Your son has fallen to the ring.
Immortality.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
Yeah. Oh. Game is hard. Puck goes down again. Global kill. Oh, roar afterwards. Trying to blow up one here. They're gonna not get stuck onto Dubu. The lift back Moon. He's gonna keep his buddy alive. Can they salvage anything here? Find any follow-up kills. YamSun's gonna get chased down by Timado. He's gonna die as well. And now the lift up one more time for poor old Night Stalker. 4 dead again.
And to Undying's credit, they have played extremely clean this game, and that's it.
Damn, dude. Holy crap.
I'm fine with that. Right. That's like the whole point, right?